Hello, everybody. I want to start off the video with showing a Discord channel where you can suggest things into if you want me to react to something. Today's video will also be a reaction from our boy Nutfesto slash Breakfesto here. So if you want to suggest stuff in the future, you can join the Discord in the description below. You can submit videos for me to react to in this channel. So just wanted to start off with that. Yeah, today we're gonna be reacting to all 12 Dutch provinces stereotypes explained. Because in case you didn't know, I'm Dutch, so we're gonna be reacting to this. And I'm using my PNG today because I got the art for it in yesterday and I like it, so we're just gonna be using that. So yeah, no 3D model today, but it is what it is. Also, this video is made by Well. The link to that will be to this video will be in the description below as well. So get that because his name is Well. Yeah. All right, let's go into it.
Drenthe province exists only in myths. In the real world, there's no place for such a landmass. In fact, I was paid by some Drenthe believers to make a section for them in this video. Shut up! Drenthe exists.
It
Have
does.
you ever been there? No. Have you?
It does exist. It does exist. There's like Hunebedden there, which are just a pile of rocks. They exist, I promise. They do exist.
Ever met someone that could prove they were from there? No. Then how the hell do you know it exists?
That's a good question.
Well,
I've been there.
It's like the Dutch Wyoming. A lot of people question its existence, it's green, and has some great nature. Yeah, when the people from the west get tired of the noise and hustling, come to this province to chill
It is
and enjoy
pretty.
the nature.
I should probably like pause the videos more and things. I'm sorry, I'm still pretty new to reaction stuff. So
because up to like 100 years ago, most parts of the province were still marshy and inaccessible. Even when the Dutch were the 70s.
Yeah, look, these are the Hunebedden.
But hey, they were once the most populated region of the country, during the prehistoric times though. And they have some ancient
there we go.
tombstones to prove it. But now,
yeah, these are the ancient tombstones.
now the situation has much improved. The province is very rural and there are not many jobs. And since most of the young population leaves the region, there are three groups of people there. 1. Boomers from Randstad who complain a lot. 2. Kids. And 3. Down-to-earth farmers with a dry sense of
a lot of
strong
farmers.
Dialect. But in general, the people, especially the village folks, are very lovely and friendly.
Yeah.
And finally, the capital city Assen is a mid-sized charming place with a little...
Like when I go swimming, I go to Austin a lot because they have a really cool swimming pool there.
little bit of everything.
Okay, Flevoland, let's go.
These are the guys who reclaim their land from the sea.
Yeah, they're probably gonna talk about it in the video, but it's pretty cool because we just created land mass from the sea and people live there. Yeah.
Flevoland is the youngest Dutch province to be created. I mean, they literally created it by draining parts of IJsselmeer, which was a shallow inland sea. As a result, it's windy and flat, and afterwards, the land was colonized by the overflow of Amsterdam. Alongside Drenthe, they're amongst the most forgettable provinces. Maybe because it's a new province. Yeah, lots of Dutch people believe that it's boring and it lacks history,
I don't know about that.
Character, and such. But hey, that's the case with almost all new regions in the country. They always get bullied by the older regions. About some cities, Urk used to be an island. They're really religious.
I didn't know this that Urk was an island. I thought it was part of the land that they reclaimed from the water, but
and it's like Alabama. Enough said.
Yeah, so they are very religious here, and he says like Alabama, but the joke is that they do a lot of incest over there. So yeah, interesting.
The capital city
Very interesting.
is modeled after American cities, but it feels quite Dutch, and it's been in development since like forever. In Lelystad, you'll meet all sorts of people, and outsiders always make fun of it or criticize it. But
I don't know
even
about
locals
that.
do that, so you can blame them. Overall, the city is nothing crazy and not as bad as they say it is. It's just sort of the place people go when they want to work a lot, save, and then go to another place. And Almere is another commuter town for those who are too poor to live in Amsterdam. And it's basically like a suburb for Amsterdam. They get lots of hate, like being ugly and such, but hey, it's close to Amsterdam.
What city did he say? Almere?
It's basically like a suburb. Save and then go to another place. And Almere is another...
Yeah, Almere. I guess it's kind of known for that.
Commuter town for those who are too poor to live in Amsterdam. And it's basically
I
like a
think it
suburb
kind of
of
has bad
Amsterdam.
rap.
They get lots of hate, like being ugly and such, but hey, it's close to Amsterdam and it doesn't have to be a crazy vibrant place. It's just a cozy little bedroom town. Also, no nightlife, because the commuters have to go to sleep early. Friesland, the land of sober folks who have their own distinct language and culture. They're stereotyped to be stubborn, tall blondes who are always speed skating or ice skating, and they speak Frisian, which is incomprehensible for the rest of the country. So based on that, they kind of remind me of Nords from Skyrim. Tall, blonde, and speak a language that no one understands. But don't worry, almost all of them speak Dutch with no problem. Also English.
They used to have something called the Elfstedentocht, which is in Friesland, where they skate on ice around like 11 cities. But like lately, they haven't really been able to do it because it hasn't been snowing and freezing as much. But it's like a very typical traditional like Dutch thing that used to happen a lot. But nowadays, not so much.
During the day, they all do these 4 things. Working in their farms, waiting for the lakes to freeze so they can ice skate, jumping over canals using big sticks, and sailing schutje. The people from Friesland love eating pea soup and sugar bread all day. They say that they want to
I love sugar bread.
I don't think it's that serious. It's just out there. Friesland has a rival.
Like, yeah, sugar bread, it's kind of weird to say it in English, sugar bread.
The city of Drachten as well is one of the oldest cities in the Netherlands, and it's fine.
That's a good, like, practice word if you want to learn, like, English, Dutch pronunciation. Drachten. With the whenever I say, like, things with a in Dutch, when I'm speaking to my English friends, I would say, like, dude, what are you smoking, dude? Are you fucking joking? Like, no, I'm just saying a word, man. Like, Drachten is a city, bro. It's a city, man. What do you want from me?
If you're liking the video so far, please subscribe and check out my other Stereotypes.
Yeah, you should go subscribe to Well. I'm not logged in, but I would subscribe if I was. Nederland.
The province as a whole doesn't have its own separate identity, but its regions and cities do. Their hobbies are drinking beer, rolling in the mud, and catching hogs. And they do some farming in between all
I didn't know they caught hogs in Nederland.
Arnhem is the capital city. It's not too big or too busy. They
Arnhem
have
is nice.
rivalry with people from Nijmegen. It's mainly because of the local derby, or maybe because people from Nijmegen think they're the ones who are supposed to be.
He says it's really funny, Nijmegen. I think.
Who are supposed to be the capital city. Nijmegen is a
stereotype
to be filled.
It's Nijmegen. Nijmegen. This sounds really normal, but once I hear it in like an English like conversation or sentence, it does sound pretty weird.
With commies, well, that's an exaggeration.
Commies?
It's quiet left wing, which is kind of surprising because the neighboring areas are conservative. Also, there are lots of students there and the nature is great. Limburg is filled with friendly people who are all experts in making pastries. Yeah, they're basically reserved Belgians who are tucked in the corner of the country and have a suspiciously German-sounding accent. And I think they have more in common with German Rhinelanders than, say, Randstad. Because of their accent, people from other provinces have a hard time understanding them. Some say that the accent sounds like everything they say is a question, and they think that the people from there are the closest thing that the Netherlands has to Belgians. Belgians? We don't need Belgians. We have Belgians at home. Compared to the other provinces, they're more laid back, less serious, and they love nothing more than going to carnivals. They even have Oktoberfest there. The province is culturally
I've never been to carnival.
Conservative and religious, except maybe for the city of Maastricht. It also isn't as crowded as other places, and it isn't as flat as a pancake like the rest of the country. They actually have hills, but get flat. One thing you may notice there is that the people are less direct, which could be a good thing, but some consider this dishonest and backhanded. The capital city Maastricht feels more like a mixture of German Aachen and Walloons. It has some beautiful medieval architecture and the typical Dutch canals. Because of its university, the city is very vibrant, especially during Christmas time, and it's quite a small, progressive, and left-wing. Also look up Maastricht Syndrome.
I don't know what that is. North Brabant
province.
North Brabant.
Also known as the area below the rivers. The people there are super kind and welcoming until you somehow insult their province. They're known for their burgundy-like behavior, dinner, which basically means that they like
Frikandellen
eating. The Liberation Day is a big deal there, and they love celebrating it. To be honest, they're
Yeah.
just looking for any excuse to party. For more info, watch this movie.
Oh no, don't watch that movie. This movie, I watched this like when I was way too young, man. This movie is yeah. I wonder if there's like an English dub for it. I doubt it, but
some countries refer to the Netherlands as Holland. Well, technically, Holland refers to the historical region of Holland, which now is divided into two provinces,
North
of
Holland
North
and South Holland.
North Holland is very crowded and diverse, and there are lots of hardworking cheeseheads there. They're stereotyped as loud and obnoxious people, specifically if they're from Amsterdam. But don't worry, they're friendly and really energetic. Haarlem, the capital city, is filled with posh yuppies who are quiet and don't want to be the center of attention. So yeah, they're balling. There's even a saying that goes, solid stool comes in many forms, but in Haarlem, they only poop diamonds. Also, it is said that they're very stiff and stingy with money, and that they're the ones who speak the standard Dutch.
I mean, that's just kind of the Netherlands in general, I feel. Isn't that the stereotype anyway?
Harlem neighborhood in New York City is named after Harlem, just like how Brooklyn is named after Brooklyn. Amsterdam, the capital city of the country. Of course, just like any other capital city, they're stereotyped as obnoxious, loud people who think they're in the center of the universe. And others hate them for that. It's filled with tourists and has a crazy high tourist-to-resident ratio. And they think all of the Netherlands is like Amsterdam. And the rest is just a bunch of windmills and
yeah, you guys need to like fucking change your perspective, man. Not the entirety of the Netherlands is not Amsterdam, bro. That's a stereotype that I do agree with and that I don't like.
Language. The place is filled with tourists.
Come on, man.
Crazy high tourist-to-resident ratio, and they think all of the Netherlands is like Amsterdam, and the rest is just a bunch of windmills and tulip fields.
Yeah.
On the other hand, people from Amsterdam think anything outside the A10 ring is total wilderness, and they see all of the rural people as ignorant conservatives who cannot think straight. So as I said, it's a two-way street. They make fun of each other all the time, and they do it in a mockery, bantering kind of way. They also compare everything to Amsterdam and always say, well, that's not how it's done in Amsterdam. If I wanted to describe the city, I would say it's a sinner's paradise.
Yes, the red light district, the one. So I didn't go to the red light district. I guess this is a research story because I had a day off and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go visit Amsterdam because it's been a while. And I went to Amsterdam and I was looking for like retro game stores, right? And I was like, okay, let me just look up on Google Maps where there's a game store. So I put in on Google Maps game store, and then Google Maps brought me through the red light district. And it was like in the middle of the day or whatever. It wasn't at nighttime or anything. But I just walked through a street and then I just saw like how do you say it? Like a scarcely clothed woman in the window. I was like, oh, I guess I'm in the red light district. Okay. So I just walked through it. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's my only experience with the red light district.
As a cyclist's paradise.
Yeah.
If I wanted to really describe it, I'd say it's like a dark Disneyland on steroids with all those tourists who go there for those streets with red lights and a certain kind of plant. There's a huge rivalry between them and Rotterdam, which spikes to its highest during the football season. About that,
like another stereotype that is kind of, I don't know. People have like this sense that then it's like, oh, there's drugs everywhere, man, and there are places where you can buy like weed and stuff in coffee shops or whatever. But really, the only place I see it the most is in Amsterdam. Like, I'm sure other cities have it too, but you kind of have to go out and look for it. I feel like in most cities to like find drugs, it's not like as common, I feel, as people think. Unless I'm wrong, you know, I could also be wrong. I don't really dabble in drugs and all that stuff. I don't smoke. I drink. That's pretty much all I do. Okay, that came out wrong, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't really take any of those things. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not, you know, I'm not. My brain is not programmed to notice that stuff. But who knows? Maybe it is more common than I think.
the housing, well, the rents will make you cry, and if you could get a house, that'll be the biggest accomplishment of your whole life.
That's just pretty much everywhere in the Netherlands. That's not just Amsterdam. Like the the housing crisis here is terrible.
nothing will come even close. And there's just a lot going on in there. And there's so much to say that I could make a whole video about it.
Yeah.
So I will leave it at that. And finally, about the people from Alkmaar, they eat a lot of cheese.
They do that everywhere. That's not just Alkmaar.
South Holland is the money-making province, and the people think of South Holland cities before the province itself. The Hague is the capital city, and it's the home of both the Dutch government and the football club ADO Den Haag, and they have a fierce rivalry with Ajax Amsterdam. People from
That's
there
more
have a
Rotterdam
habit of chugging
and
500
Feyenoord.
milliliters of beer while riding a scooter. The Hague is where the money is spent and is filled with antisocial people, diplomats, politicians, and government workers. The city is kind of like Rotterdam, but without a port, and it has an economy.
Rotterdam is like, I don't know. I haven't been to the Hague, as they say it in English, as much as Rotterdam. I really like Rotterdam. Rotterdam is a cool city.
So lots of immigrants, or the ones who want to be called expats. Rotterdam, the city of skyscrapers and foreigners. They suffer from a serious second city complex, and they used to be a very traditional city. But since they got heavily bombed during the World War II, they had to rebuild the city from scratch. So it basically became modernized as a whole. But still, you could spot some of that good old architecture in the city. If you didn't know already, they're the arch enemy of Amsterdam. The people are working class, sober, very direct, and all of them work in the harbor. And work would always be their #1 priority. And it's one of those love it or hate it cities.
It is beautiful.
There are lots of foreigners.
I love Rotterdam. Look at this, man. It's beautiful.
Love it or hate it. I mean, not all the neighborhoods are nice, but it isn't like the Brazilian favelas either.
That's like,
all,
I don't know. I feel like most cities have that. Groningen.
There are 3 types of people from Groningen. 1. Poor communist farmers whose houses are damaged by earthquakes. 2. People from the city of Groningen who are more urban than they would like to admit. And 3. The wildest and most misbehaved university students in the country. The province is considered one of the poorest regions of the Netherlands, and there ain't much of an industry or tourism going on. People from Groningen are also known to really hate Friesland. They actually share some historical ties, but don't tell them that. Now, why do they hate them? Well, they hate the Frisians because of how proud they are.
That is not Groningen.
Of their language and stuff, and also make fun of Drenthe for obvious reasons. But
this is not Groningen. Groningen is up here. I don't know why they're like, okay. Because this is Overijssel, and then you have Drenthe here, and then this is Groningen. So they got this wrong.
But a lot of people say that it's irrelevant because it's too far away from the major cities.
That's fair.
It's kind of off the radar.
It is kind of far.
But like any other province, these are just the stereotypes. So of course they're not all grumpy communist farmers and conspiracy theorists with incomprehensible accents who live in a wasteland. The capital city Groningen is famous for its awesome nightlife because, as I said, there are students there. The city has the only major university in the northern Netherlands, and the people from there are either local giant blondes who are really straightforward with a down-to-earth attitude, or there's some international students who could be from anywhere in the world. The city is like a large village, but with a cosmopolitan mentality, and it's very friendly.
Okay, so this is where I'm from. So, I think the last one will probably be... Wait, did they not even... They missed one. Wait, they missed one. Drenthe, Flevoland, Friesland, Gelderland, Limburg, Noord-Brabant, Zuid-Holland, Groningen, Utrecht. Because they missed Zeeland. They just completely skipped. That's funny. I like that. Because Zeeland is over here. I was gonna say like my mom was born in. Well, that's not true. But my mother's side of the family is from like Zeeland and South Holland, and my biological dad, who I don't talk to anymore, is from Limburg, and I'm born in Overijssel, and I live here. So yeah, fun regional lore fact.
When someone asks you to name 12 provinces and you name 11 of them, and you have no clue which one you have forgotten, most likely that one is Overijssel. Wow,
or Zeeland.
You guys have internet here? I didn't know you existed.
Wow, okay, bro.
Overijssel is filled with calm and traditional folks who are more religious and conservative than most other provinces. The average person from Overijssel is a farmer who works really hard, also parties really hard, loves drinking beer, and owns a moped.
I don't own a moped.
If they want to see their moped, it means that they want to get intimate with that person. So,
is that a thing?
Do you want to see my moped?
I don't think.
I just wanted to show you my new stickers. The people
Okay,
are
bro.
basically backup Germans who love to claim that they're Dutch, but in reality they're the
Bruh.
most German out of all
I'm not
Eastern
German,
provinces. The
bro.
province is filled with gorgeous little towns, like
They do,
Gethorn is
yeah.
called the little...
Giethoorn is where like, I live relatively close. I don't want to dox myself, but I live relatively close to Giethoorn. Giethoorn, for some reason, is very popular with, like, Chinese people. And I remember, like, I used to work nearby where Giethoorn is, so I would take the bus, and every time I would go on the bus would be, like, filled with, like, foreign Chinese people wanting to visit Giethoorn. And it's such, like, a random spot that is weirdly popular. It's just like, you just go on little boats through canals, you know? Unless that's super impressive, I don't know, but it is, like, super weirdly popular.
Venice. The province could be a little boring if you're used to living in big cities. Otherwise, it's great if you want to have a calm and chill
It does
lifestyle.
look nice.
The capital city, Zwolle, is
You know?
one of the fastest growing cities.
Also, capital city Zwolle. I went to school in Zwolle. That's all I'm gonna say about, like, personal locations and whatever. But I've been a majority of my life I've been in Zwolle.
The country with a beautiful and old city center. They
It is
say
a
that
good
the
city.
city feels like a big village, so expect to see lots of grannies. And they have a strong rivalry with Kampen since like
I
the
don't know.
Middle Ages.
Okay.
They're also famous for the high quality restaurants.
There
And
are a lot of
since
restaurants.
everything is 15 minutes away from you, you could go everywhere.
If you want to play it like this.
Utrecht.
Utrecht is the smallest province in the Netherlands. It has everything that the rest of the country has all together, and it's located right in the heart of the country. So it's important both economically as well as academically. The place is filled with hipsters and lots of upper middle class white families who ride cargo bikes, live in expensive areas, and
Again,
eat
it's
only organic foods.
that's
Also,
kinda
some
anywhere,
Moroccans. The province has one of the busiest train stations in the
Yeah.
country, and the Dam Tower. Not dumb, but dumb. They have canals, not that many tourists, and lots of students. The average person there is
I
a
like
student
Utrecht.
who drinks a lot and basically lives in a
I go
quote-unquote
shopping in
coffee
Utrecht a
shop.
lot.
They also like getting a coffee while sitting along the city canals. I mean real coffee this time though. And think about how
Like, they have a really nice big shopping mall called Hoge Catharijne, which is, like, right next to the train station in Utrecht. So if you just go by train, and you can just step out of the station, and you're right next to the shopping mall there. So it's really nice.
So yeah, the student culture is quite dominant in the city. In
Yeah,
Utrecht, it's
there's a
better
lot of
if you
students.
learn Dutch, because English only is not gonna cut it for long. I'd also like
I don't know about that, man. Like, again, if you're, like, a tourist or whatever, like, I feel like you could go around in English just fine. Like, most people speak English, I would say.
to describe this city as a village with city rights. And check out this cool looking cathedral.
Oh, there is Zeeland. Wait, how did I miss that? Okay, never mind. I'm stupid. I was gonna say, how did they miss
They're
Zeeland?
stereotyped to be cheap, hardworking, sober people who are super religious and all have at least like 7 siblings. About the sober thing, is true. The only drunks in this province are the Randstad people who go there to blow off some steam. Do you remember that I told you Flevoland reclaimed their land from the sea? Well, Zeeland people are the first potential victims of being swallowed by the sea.
Yeah, Zeeland had, like, something that's called, like, a waternoodramp. I'm trying to think what it's like, a water disaster, I think, translated.
Yeah, they have suffered so many floods that they have
Yeah.
managed to evolve gills. What the hell is this guy talking about? We have built dams, and it's safe now. They're part of the Dutch Bible Belt, especially the eastern part of the province, alongside with these guys. Here's the average day of someone from Zeeland. They wake up and eat a ton of mussels, oysters, and clams, then shower in holy water and go to the church. They go there like 3 times a day or so.
They
After
are
the
pretty
church, they
religious
make some
there.
comments with
You know, again, I'm not from Zeeland, but, like, my mother's side of the family originally comes from Zeeland. And then my I don't remember if it was my mom or I think it was my granddad who moved away because he got assigned to a church as a priest. And then the family, for the most part, moved together with the other part of the family towards where we live now. And then my household, like, moved to a town nearby. So, fun fact, reason.
to approve of anything modern. Son, look at that guy driving his car on a Sunday. Just like that steak leftover in your hand, your ass is gonna be well done by the flames of hell. But in
Damn, bro.
Zealand, people are more relaxed compared to the rest of the country. Maybe because they're all old and introverted. For jobs, they all sell fishes, and during the summer, the province gets raided by Germans and Belgians. The capital city, Middelburg, is filled with students and tourists, and it feels just like a large village. And there are not many people on the streets, so if you stay quiet enough, you could hear this sound. Aren't you hearing it? Listen carefully this time. Thanks for watching.
Damn, bro. Yeah, that was a really good video. I really enjoyed reacting to this. Sorry if it was kind of bad. You know, I'm still kind of new to this reacting thing and all that. So I hope you all enjoyed it regardless. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.